In a weekend riddled with boxing events happening at the same time, it all ended with some exciting results. On DAZN, Julio Cesar Martinez finally made his way back into the ring with the win over Joel Cordova. Although his record was far from impressive, Cordova was able to hang with Martinez for several rounds and actually held his ground in spots. However, Martinez's wild onslaught in the sixth proved to be far too much for Joel, first suffering a knockdown before crumbling under a barrage of punches. It's nice to see Martinez back. He just has a lot of ground to cover since he missed out on so many fight opportunities over the past few months, and he has had two soft touches back to back at this point. Hopefully his next fight will be against a world-class talent, especially since this division is beginning to heat up. On the ESPN Plus app, Lomachenko makes his long-awaited return by brutalizing a gutsy warrior in Masayoshi Nakatani. Although Nakatani had some considerable physical advantages, none of them were utilized in an effective manner, and Lomachenko made those advantages diminish even further with the sheer level of talent. Lomachenko's footwork allowed for him to slash the reach difference, jumping into unloaded shots and bouncing back out of harm's way. In fact, there was never a moment where Nakatani even seemed to have worried Loma. Vasily is back in rare form. He accomplished what Teofimo Lopez was unable to do by stopping the Japanese warrior in just 9 rounds after bombarding him throughout the entirety of the fight. Last but not least, on Showtime pay-per-view, Gervonta Tank Davis overcomes a crafty and skilled bigger man in Mario Barrios in 11 rounds of exciting exchanges and tension-riddled moments. Although Barrios seemed to have started extremely strong, working behind a jab and going to the body, Davis turned things around in the mid-rounds with poise, power, and speed. The entire fight, Gervonta looked ready to open fire in a moment's notice, and he sure did when the moment aroused in the 8th round. Gervonta's feint led to an opening for a right hook that dropped Barrios. He would drop him once more and give him 2 gashes on his face in the same round. Barrios managed to bounce back in the 9th, and Tank seemed to have taken that round off, but Tank's patience began to become detrimental and a bit alarming. In the 11th round, Tank took matters into his own hands and ultimately got the stoppage win over the Aztec warrior that was made possible via a gut-wrenching body punch that spelled the beginning of the end for Barrios and led to him getting caught and ultimately stopped a few moments later. This fight reminded me a lot of the Leo Santa Cruz fight, where Leo Santa Cruz did extremely well in the opening rounds, did extremely well throughout most of the fight, and Gervonta Davis was ultimately able to pull off the knockout win. I think the end results from the judges didn't really match what actually happened in the fight, at least not from my perspective. In fact, I was more so in agreement with the way Farhood had seen the fight. With this one, however, Gervonta proves to the world that his power does indeed carry over. I myself wasn't too sure it would, but I'm glad to know it did. Tank's negligence, though, to exert himself and dedication to patiently wait to land a big punch could cost him in the long run, especially if he comes across a fighter with a granite chin that could take his power. For now, however, it has proven to be a successful formula that has generated Tank some great results. All in all, it was a great night for boxing. It just sucks that there were 3 events going on at once, and it's hard to invest oneself completely to any of them for that very reason. It was great to see Lomachenko and Davis win their fights, especially against much bigger men than themselves. And not only that, but both fighters got stoppage wins, albeit completely different game plans. I think it'd be nice to see Tank Davis stay at 140 and fight some of the bigger names there at that weight class, but I honestly think that 135 would be his best fit. Physically, Tank is too small for most of the junior welterweights in the division, but far too dense and compact to boil all the way down to 130 consistently. Hopefully he drops back down to 135 and campaigns there. Aside from Teo, I think he really has a shot at cleaning out that division. Either way, I really appreciate you all for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and make sure to stay tuned for a lot more content to come. Like always, this is Shay at Can't Be, signing out.